Hi everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Marianne Zierscher, and today I am going to talk a little bit about things that I love to find on my daily walks. So as many of you know, I live in New York City, and it's such a walking city. There are always things to look at and to see, even things that I've seen over places that I've gone over and over again, the same walk. I'll see something different, the architecture, maybe a little crocus creeping and pushing itself up through the sidewalk cracks. There are so many wonderful things. And one of the things I love is finding things that I can then use in my art. So the other day, I was walking with some friends, and on the side of buildings, often there will be posters put, advertisements, maybe showing a new movie, or sometimes people will do graffiti over the posters. And what happens is that they put up these posters and they use this kind of wet paste. It's watered down, and they brush it up really fast and they stick the thing up, and then they move on to the next one. And then someone will put another poster up and then another one. And so you can pass these buildings that have about an inch thick of posters, just one on top of each other layered. So, and then they start peeling off the wall or whatever surface they're on. And so we're walking and I see these posters and I'm thinking, I could take some of these layers and just rip some off. And I bet there's some cool stuff if I can peel away some of the layers. This is just one of the layers that came off. This one, I think I don't know. It doesn't matter. So what I then did was I bring it all home, I peel the layers, and then if they're wet, I let them dry. And then I decided to start working on my big black and white piece, which I have not touched. I mean, that thing has been on my design wall since my mother died, which was August of 2021. I just felt compelled to get back to it. So I'll show you what I'm doing with it and with this crazy stuff that I found. Tell me if you ever do this. Tell me interesting things that you find on your walks, or do you? It's one of my favorite things. The other thing that happened the other day, I was walking on the sidewalk. I was so excited. I think people think, what's wrong? Well, no one does that. It's New York. People do weird stuff all the time. That's what I love about this city. I found these. I put them in the bag. There are, I think, 12 or 14 of them. I'll use them in something else. Rusty spikes. Oh, I was so thrilled. There were a few that were actually embedded in the pavement and had ice on it, so I had to actually chip away at the ice to get to it, but I was able to. Some are straight, some are crooked. It's for another project. Just thrilling. Okay, let's show you what I'm up to. I'm working on this bad boy, and I had to put it on the floor because it's I wasn't able to work with it pinned up on the wall. So right now what I'm doing is I've done used a little of this. You have to be careful with this stuff because it's really, I think, toxic. So you need a lot of windows open, or do it outside would be probably even better. I'm putting in some print, some text, and over here I'm using this stuff and the water soluble stabilizer, and I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna obscure the text a little bit, so you won't be able to see what it says, but you'll see that it's text. It'll still show as text. It just won't show as as a word that's recognizable, which is what I want. And the same goes for this little guy over here. I might put something larger and put that in another place. I'm not sure, but that's what I'm kind of up to right now. So what I want to do is put this here, and then I'm going to rip some of this up. This is the mulberry bark from Steph Francis that I really like working with. I've also got some, this is silk. Put that in there as well. So I think this can just kind of wrap around, right? Beautiful thing about this is how cool it is when you just kind of stretch it. You can wet it also to make it a bit more malleable, but there we go. Let's see. Not sure about this. I do want to get some rice paper, so I'm going to do that. So, got all this stuff. Put some of this down. When it's really crusty, it helps to just soak it in some water, because it's really hard when it's that sort of encrusted, and the water just breaks it up a little. Okay, I've got to show you what I did. So I did not need to use that stabilizer. I could have just, I think, stitched everything down, but without it. But it did, I think it did make it quite a bit easier. This is very, very wet. You can see it's quite wet. But I did my free motion stitching. It said Instagram, and you cannot see that it said Instagram now, because what I did was I came in here and I ripped out some of the poster, and I did my free motion quilting. So when this dries, this is all the little bits of mulberry bark, as well as some of that silk. I don't know what you call it, roving? I don't know. So that I did here in white thread, but there is some in here too, and I did this in black. And I rather like this. I think it turned out nicely. I'll see better once this is dry. And then I did just a big piece of, well, a long strip with rice paper, mulberry bark, and then free motion stitching. And I really like this. And I can put it on this piece or not, but I have it for whatever, and I'll figure that one out. Once this is dried, I'm going to lay it on the floor again. I've got some other big pieces of text that I want to add. I'll add those. And then I'm thinking I'm going to add some color, but I want to be really strategic about it. And after that, I think this piece is done. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll go from there. As you can see, I added some red. It's just laid down, and at the end of the video, you'll see how I adjusted that red, and I actually like it better than when I shot this, but it's just kind of an idea. I thought this would be a good time to comment on the idea that anything can be beautiful. It's all a perspective. I love finding things and incorporating them into the pieces I'm working on. And I do think there's sort of a metaphor here for a larger view, a larger perspective of the world and of life and of ourselves, which is finding beauty in the flaws, finding the opportunity in the things that other people may dismiss as unimportant or uninteresting or even unattractive, and finding ways to see all of those things in a different light. As I said in the beginning, I love going on my daily walks, and they're very good for my mind and just to sort of clear my head, and they're wonderful for my artistic and creative, just kind of to get the juices flowing, or to, if I'm sort of feeling stuck in something, to just kind of clear my mind. And as I said in the beginning, I always see these wonderful things that I can pick up because they've been cast aside, or they're trash, or they're going to be whatever, and I can then take those and use them. And I just love the idea of being able to take things that others may perceive as just garbage, and to me, it's a little treasure. And it's a little treasure that's in my work, and it connects me to the place that it was, wherever I found it. So tell me about you, and I would love to know, do you do the same thing? Do you go on walks and collect things? And if you do, what sort of things do you love to pick up? Is it sort of anything? Like for me, it's anything. I'll pick up anything. Or are there specific things that you're looking for? Love to all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button. That always helps me. And until next time.